Okay, well, I think we're live. What do you guys think?
Well,
yeah, we're live. It says we're live. So for those of you who are watching live and really don't know if we're live or not, we're live. The only reason we wouldn't know is because we're working off our mobile devices today. We're doing this mobile social media experiment. And, oh, look! It just came on my screen here on my phone. It says, you're now live. But we were live like 2 minutes ago.
Yeah.
So. A little bit of a lag, but hey, we're live. Just in case you're questioning, we're live.
Word.
Okay, today's show, apparently, by popular demand, is going to be talking about how we, as humans, communicate with each other over things like long distance and software and apps and things of this nature. And I don't know, maybe we'll get into the psychology of it. We've got Dr. Gary Washer with us today, and he might be able to speak to some of that stuff. And then we've got our technological guru, John, over here, who is always up on the latest technology and applications. So if there are any software or hardware questions, we're going to go straight to him. And I'm here specifically to keep them from killing each other. So go ahead. Anybody got any comments or questions?
Thank you for allowing me to show today, Ken. I'm very glad to be here with my doctoral expertise on technology.
I've never been in the military like you have been, Ken, but I think I know what a field promotion feels like now.
There you go. Yeah. Oh, gosh. Fun
well,
stuff.
The healing fields are coming up. Speaking of military service, the healing fields are coming here in Murfreesboro the end of the month. 7th Annual Healing Field, Flags of Remembrance, sponsored by the Noon Exchange Club of Murfreesboro, will be held at a new location over Memorial Day weekend. It will be...
Yeah, that's a cool thing. I remember the first one they did, John. It was a few years back.
6 years back.
How time flies. Well, I remember my Rotary Club, I guess, donated a flag or bought a flag or whatever it was for me, for my service. And I thought that was a pretty cool thing, you know. Made you feel special as a veteran. And I still got that flag. So, good stuff. If you know of that, buy a flag for them.
We have bought one, and I was going to have it up in here today, and I guess I could go get it. But our ceilings in the bonus room are so short that the pole that we got from the healing fields makes it so that it's too tall for the ceiling up here.
Yeah. It is a pole.
My wife and I and children bought one for both of our dads. They were both in the Air Force. So
you have two dads? My
wife and I.
That's a different show.
Yeah, that would be a way different show. It would be news to me, too. Not to mention my one mom.
Oh, goodness. Yeah, there's a lot of directions that could go, but
let's stay out of the ditches today.
Let's stick to the topics at hand.
Yes. Well, let's face this real quick. The flags are 3x5, and they'll be on an 8-foot white pole, a staff with gold ball tops, laid out in the military grid in tribute to our veterans or our current military and personal heroes. And they're going to be over by the on Thompson Lane this year by the Methodist Church, 265 West Thompson Lane, just west of Memorial. And so phone in now and get your Memorial Day flag for your veteran in either past or current military. I highly recommend it.
Yes. I think I had you highlighted there, Gary. Sorry about that.
What does that mean?
All the time he was talking, you were highlighted on the screen. That's okay.
Well, that's very good. But for the show today, people have mentioned it to me a couple times because we do the Google Hangout for Murfreesboro Live. And then my wife went out of town a week ago, I guess 2 weeks ago now, and we were going to do video conferencing. Well, we have an old iPod that she usually takes with her, or I do, and then our children have an Apple phone. So you can do FaceTime, and it's very convenient, the same device.
Mm-hmm.
But some of the people I've talked to, they said, well, we have an Apple computer at home, but our children have, what do you call it, an IBM or whatever, a PC. So we cannot do FaceTime, and they use different different software. And then when they heard that we do Google Hangouts, they downloaded Google Chrome, Google Plus, and then Google Hangout on their computer, and now they do it. It's very simple. My wife has an older phone, probably about the same year that the first Healing Fields came out, and I have now an Apple phone. So we put Tango on hers because her phone wouldn't hold all three of the Chrome, Google Plus, and Hangouts on her phone. So I've been talking to several of some of my older clients, and their children live all over the country. Or sometimes they just aren't able to get out, but their children or grandchildren will take their phone and they'll watch their soccer or an event live, but just podcast, or, well, not podcast, it's downloaded, but through their mobile device. So I thought it'd be a neat topic and a good show for us to do, with the three of us all having different devices and different ages. And Ken, you're using your mobile device, and it looks like it's pretty sunny where you are today. Or you just have good lighting.
It's not so much sunny as that I've got a lot of windows in here, so that's great. The sun is out though, which is a good sign. As of late, it's been kind of cloudy and stuff, but this is kind of a half attempt by the sun to come out.
And now that we're in 3 locations, and Gary uses his mobile device quite often, so we can look up at him.
Yes, sir. I'm using a iPhone 4S currently. But I will say this as we get into the show, for the people who are watching, you might assume that as the young guy here, that I'm probably very up to date on technology, but I'm like that young guy who's actually an old guy who really just, uses my phone for a phone for the most part. I mean, I don't spread out my technology skills into all these different areas that much, but I do use some social media, do use some Skype for work. So, I look forward to what I can share with everybody today. But Ken is probably the guru here on the show today.
Probably nothing.
I don't know if I'm a guru or not. I use it a lot. I use technology a lot, but that's only because I have to. It makes sense for me, especially now. I've got so many clients in Tennessee. I'm here in Wisconsin right now, and it's been a godsend for me just to communicate with clients who have issues and stuff. Because a lot of people still want to see you, still want to see your face and hear your voice and talk to you. And there's that connection, that human connection, even though you're not in the same locale. You can do that. And I find that either these types of technology, video conferencing type things, not only a useful tool, but that you can establish a relationship with someone you've never physically met. They can see, basically who you are, how you sound, your mannerisms, and you can develop, trust with someone, even though you really don't know them. You can know them. So it allows me to be in several places at one time, and that's cool. As far as the technology behind it, there's a lot of different things. You guys have mentioned some apps and things of that nature. There are services that you can use that are free or very low cost. that allow you to do that, communicate with someone over a long distance, so long as there's a fairly decent internet connection. And it's
and our internet always works between the three of us.
Well, yeah, I mean, just to show you how far that's gone, I mean, when the internet started, let's say, just over 20-something years ago, and it's close to relatively current form, we used to download pictures, and it would take a minute and a half just to download one picture. And now we're sending live audio and live video streams. So the technology has certainly come a long way. How you use it is up to you. I think most people, as far as social media and talking, like soldiers out in the field. When I was just deployed in Iraq, I had to drive 2 hours into the middle of the desert to reach a tent that had satellite equipment set up so that I could use a phone. And now we've got soldiers deployed who can, flip open a laptop and talk to someone at home. So, I mean, the technology and, more importantly, the bandwidth, the advances in that have allowed miraculous things to happen.
Well, Ken, I'd like to give an example of what you were talking about, just the ability to communicate with people in ways that we had never been before, and just how, recently you communicated with me. And, of course, you and I have never met in person. We've actually been introduced through John and have talked through basically things like technology. And recently, we had I asked you to help me update a website for the organization that I direct. And so the audience knows what he did. He actually, I told him what I wanted, and then through video, through our modern means of communicating, he actually would have a video of him talking, but then he would switch over to a video of him running through the different screens and through the different things that he put on the website that we wanted, and showing me how to do that, how to add things, how to take away things, all from Wisconsin while I'm here in Tennessee. So that's what was a really cool thing about that to me, is that in the past I would have been to get something like that done, I would have had to have gone through somebody locally, and probably would have had to get somebody nearby me to show me how to do that kind of stuff. But having somebody who knows how to do that now through technology, I mean, the best guy may not be near me to do that. The best guy may be in Wisconsin, and now I can take advantage of that and have him as if he's here.
Yeah, that's pretty handy. And you'll find a lot of tech support companies can do even more than what I did. They will actually log onto your computer with you there and manipulate it, and all the time speaking to you and telling you what they're doing. It's an amazing thing. But again, getting back to the human factor, it's important for us to not just have a letter or an instruction or something like that. It's so much easier since everybody learns in a different way. Whether it's hearing or seeing or whatever, having that means of showing somebody how to do something or communicating something important to them using this technology it's not a true replacement for being there, but it's pretty darn good.
Yeah, it is. And of course, I know that we all three use it both for business and pleasure. And going back to what you said before, if you used it for business, there were some services. You mentioned it. We can still use services now, but they're very big. Well, everything's relative, but at one time they were like the cell phone. It was very expensive, and over time, now almost everybody has some sort of mobile device. And now there are even apps so you can have a device and only use someone's Wi-Fi to still make a phone call and really not pay for the service. And now, we're using Google Hangout as our medium, and we're being able to provide information, and we're not paying a monthly fee for the service.
Right. And everybody's way of doing that, you had mentioned devices like the iPhone, they've got FaceTime apps and all of these things are kind of proprietary. I think we're coming into an age now, though, that you'll see more and more software as a service, things like Google that allows people with dissimilar hardware to connect in much the same way through a central interface. Their servers is what we're talking about.
And,
so yeah, your wife not being able to install Google Hangouts app on her phone is not necessarily a limitation of the software.
No.
It's just a limitation of the old hardware.
Yeah, that's why I made the point that her phone is, I think we found, if we remember right, it's at least 6 years old.
Yeah.
So
definitely, and that's like 150 years in internet years.
Yeah. But when our daughters inquired, she was singing, and I was able to stick my phone up like people were videoing with their camera, and we did get it to where she could watch from here, in Tennessee to Maryland, she could watch her sing. Now, of course, I think this is the iPhone 5, whatever it is. And so the camera, we got a little bit nicer camera, but our daughter was probably 20 feet away, so she couldn't see her perfectly, but at least she could see and hear the event live.
Yeah, I mean, another great example of that is, I think it was year before last, my stepfather-in-law now had his, I think it was 81st birthday. And so a lot of the family was getting together to celebrate his birthday, cake and party and all that good stuff. One of his sons lived in Georgia and couldn't make the trip. So I was able to take my iPad, which is an Apple product, and start a Google Hangout. And he had an Android phone, I think, and he was able to connect to everybody there. I would just pass out the iPad, and it would go from person to person, and he was able to talk and interact with everyone there, and kind of be there in the moment when we were having the birthday celebration, even though he really couldn't be there.
Yeah.
But it's pretty cool what you can do with technology and a good internet connection. Right.
And now with the internet almost in limbo, this is a different show too. The government basically taking over or having now the ability to take it over and start doing something with it or taxing it. I wonder how strong or how that will change in years to come. And Ken's moving, or I don't know what Ken's doing now. But one thing I do like about it is we can use it for both purposes. The internet being for business or pleasure or doing all different kinds of activities. And the grandparents now are using the internet to watch their children and grandchildren so often. And now they even have the service, you can go online, and I've never done this, but I'd like to do it one way just to say I've done it. You can go to a doctor on the internet and do I'm going to just use FaceTime as a generic thing, but doctors over the internet and look at you over the computer and diagnose and write you a prescription.
Yeah.
How does that work? Do you have to have like your own set of tongue depressors and things like that so you can like show them?
I think it will come to that as the wearable devices become more proficient at tracking things. I mean, we've got stuff now that will give you your heart rate and all that good stuff. It could come to pass that these things get better and better, and we would just, plug in or stand, next to the Wi-Fi and have it read us, much like an RFID chip.
Well, they've already have that technology apparently at the airports. They can see right through you.
Yeah, but they can't tell if you've got a lump.
I don't know about that.
Only if it's metallic, my friend.
Well, yeah. But it's amazing, the technology. Yes, I think you're right. I was trying to exaggerate to some extent, but it is amazing what the technology we have now. Like in Star Trek, they used to do that little thing where they'd run it over their body and tell them everything.
The tricorder.
Yes.
You guys are nerds.
I think it was overnight, didn't it? You see that on the news?
What's that?
The drone crashed. One of those surveillance drones with a camera.
Oh, yeah?
Somebody had reported it. It crashed in his front yard or landed on his car or something. And I think it was in Washington. I'm not sure. It was on the Fox News channel this morning. And so the guy called in the police to say, hey, somebody's drone crashed on my car. And so the police show up, and then they've got the military guys with them, too. They were conducting some kind of surveillance operation, and the drone crashed on his car.
Oh, my.
I guess the secret's out, huh?
Yeah, I guess so.
Well, I saw it.
You can see those things, so it's not too bad. You can usually hear them and see them. It's when they come out with the things that are the size of a bumblebee that you need to get scared.
Yeah, well, I saw.
Yeah.
Did you watch that show on Modern Marvels or Discovery Channel or one of those where they showed how they have now those about the size of a fly or a bumblebee? Or
Yeah. Nanotechnology, bro.
That is cool. It's cool in one way, but it brings, you're talking about the psychiatry or psychology of it. Where do we draw the line with, we start out joking about all the different, we're live and using technology. And then some of the lag time, and we've noted the internet connection once or twice. But who would have thought that something this big, when just my grandparents, I remember they had that old phone on the wall. They had one that they could crank, and I remember we lived out west. We had a party line for a while, and we could very quietly open the phone with a cord on it and kind of listen into the neighbors, whatever they were talking about.
Ah, the good old days.
Oh.
I don't know about the good days. My grandfather doesn't call them the good old days. He says it's actually quite fine with technology as it is now.
Yeah, I mean,
Of course, he was also plowing a field with that, but...
Yeah, it's like anything else, We're going to develop and create new stuff, and we're going to have people that use it for good reasons, and we'll have people that use it for not so good reasons. And,
like the government.
Yeah. They can go both ways, can't they? They can do good stuff and bad stuff. Just in case the NSA is listening, hey, we love you guys. We love all you guys.
Didn't they just recently legal for them to listen on phone conversations and do mass data collection?
Yeah, I think that was a recent ruling by one of the courts.
Is that going to amount to anything? Do you know anything else about that?
I do not.
Oh, so basically, I mean, it could just mean nothing. It's just there to make us
it's not legal for them to do that. Keep yourself straight. Don't do anything crazy.
So still, don't say anything about terrorism or anything crazy.
You say that, and then like 2 seconds later, there's going to be a black van pull up in front of your house with 12 guys piling out of it.
Excuse me, sir. You mentioned the word terrorism. You need to come with us.
So have you seen we're kind of going off on a tangent here, but the movie 1984?
No, I know there was a book.
Yeah. I didn't read the book. I just saw the movie. I'm sure the book is much better, but the movie was kind of scary enough, and you can see that stuff kind of playing out now with the Edward Snowden stuff and all this political speak, You're not allowed to talk about certain things, and craziness. But anyway, we're talking about fun stuff and the ability to use things like these mobile devices to talk to our family and friends. And I just think it's a cool thing. couple of, I mean, I like Google's platform. Of course, I'm kind of partial to it because it's kind of ubiquitous. Anything can basically connect to it. Some things connect better than others. We lost John, so John's not a big fan of Google apparently, but that's okay. Skype I always liked. I mean, the technology with Skype was good, but I didn't like how when Microsoft took it over, they changed some stuff as far as what services you had and what services you had to pay extra for. And so they kind of left a bad taste in my mouth with that. But the technology itself was fine. I haven't used it a whole lot since Microsoft took it over. But as far as I know, everything's working fine. And I think they've even incorporated that into some Facebook stuff for a time anyway.
Well, I still use Skype for a lot of my work. I may switch over to Google in the future because like what we're using, you know, I just think I like it better as a whole. But I still use Skype, and some of the things I use Skype for two things. Number one, I use it to actually work with clients. And, you know, for those of you who haven't seen the episode where I'm interviewed, go in the past, you know, our past episode, you can see that I work with people with emotional pain, depression, addiction issues, all kinds of stuff. And I'll work with people through Skype in completely different places, you know, even in different countries sometimes. The second thing I use is to train people to do what I do. And I've trained people in Malaysia doing that, Costa Rica. I've trained people in different states. So, you know, using technology for me to be able to extend myself out of Rutherford County, Tennessee, like that, because we want to expand what we're doing in other states, and we are, into other countries. And it's made it a whole lot easier to do that without me having to spend tons and tons of money and going and flying to different countries. I mean, I do that too, but I don't have to do it with so much of a presence. I can do it from my office, which I absolutely love being able to do that.
Now, if you're ever going to Costa Rica, don't hesitate to call me up because I'll be glad to run down there with you. That's on my list of things to do and places to visit.
It's absolutely wonderful. It's beautiful, and the people are wonderful, and you know, you can go to the middle and see volcanoes and mountains. You can go out to the beaches. It's just an absolutely wonderful place, and great fruits, tropical fruits you've never even probably seen of or heard of before, and more than likely. And you know, maybe we can integrate something. You know, you can do a technology class, and I'll do a emotional pain class, and you know.
The emotional pain of technology.
Yeah.
We'll have John as a case study.
Yeah. Now, did we lose John?
Yeah, I think he dropped out there. He sent me. Let me check my text here. I heard a little ding, so bear with me while I check those folks. Let's see. Text from him. I have to download it, which is kind of weird. He said NSA got me. So apparently the up and got him, but that's okay. You know, because John doesn't know a whole lot, and I'm sure he would never give us up. So we'll probably have him on again next week.
Yeah, we're in good hands. Goodness.
Have we covered some of the things we wanted to talk about? I think John was really the impetus of this discussion, but I think we've covered some of the stuff. Is there something else you want to talk about?
Yeah, we covered the main things like, talking to family, how I use it for work. I mean, you know, to give maybe some people some ideas on that. We talked about how you used that with your work.
Mm-hmm.
And we can do shows.
Uses stone tablets and a chisel.
So now all we're lacking for our shows is commercials.
Oh, there we go. brought to you by the NSA,
You know, we mentioned them enough. We ought to,
the Homeland Security Division.
we ought to have
Well,
the
hey,
amount of times we mention them.
yeah. Well, you know what? They're probably mad at us because every time we say it or something, it probably trips some trigger or something. They've got to watch the show, and
Then they have to watch us talk about it.
folks, that's how we build our audience.
But, you know, next thing you know, the NSA guys are like, oh, it's 10 o'clock. I got to get on my Murfreesboro live show.
Yeah, that's right. All right. Well, hey, I was hoping John was going to jump back in here, but it looks like he's struggling with his internet or something. So, or maybe he just needs bail money. I don't know. Anyway, hey, it was good to see you again, Gary. People who are watching, thanks for joining us, and we'll do this again sometime soon, right?
Yes, sir.